My dear friends, I'm excited to start this morning side by side with members of our council in welcoming you all to this important day together. We want to start with thanking each and every one of you. We want to start with thanking each and every one of you who made big efforts to be here with us in this room today. We're going to have some opening remarks shortly, and then we're going to have three what we hope are amazing discussions that really help us all bring some thoughts and ideas about water cooperation to the fore today. We are here as a community to help elevate the knowledge and experience of women water diplomats as part of this critical preparatory meeting in advance of the UN Water Conference. We want to strengthen the representation of women in water decision-making. And what better group to help us bring women's voices to the fore by this amazing group we've assembled today. We also will not be stopping this conversation in this room, but continuing a real year of dedicated advocacy on water. The Women in Water Diplomacy Network convening this symposium in Dakar is a first big step for us this year. We'll be doing a similar engagement in Tajikistan in May, and again at the UAE in advance of the UN Water Conference itself. I want to say thank you before we get started to each and every one of you. It was not easy for everyone to be here with us here in the room. We have an amazing group online as well, and we really appreciate your time, energy, and efforts to be here with us in the room today. Amazing group of diverse, complementary expertise represented here today. And I also want to give a special thank you to the partners that enabled us to be here. Even a few months ago, we weren't sure we were going to be able to pull this convening off. But with gracious support from our partners at Finland and our hosts here in Senegal and our many team members across the Strong Coalition, the Sustainable Sanitation Alliance, and with support from the Swiss government and the German government and the Hilton Foundation, and all in part to get this group together. And I think that shows incredible dedication and support to making sure that inclusion is really front and center in this discussion. That we're starting this whole series of meetings today in this room says a great deal about our community. So I really want to thank you, all of you who really made this event possible. And now I'd like to turn the floor over to Women in Water Diplomacy Global Leadership Council member Yodit. Balcha, welcome, dear. Network leader for the last, since 2018, I gather to say, when we first started in the Nile network. And she's coming to us today from Ethiopia. Yodit.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Yodit Balcha, as Elizabeth mentioned, and I work as expert at the Alliance of Bioversity and International and CIAT. It's an international institute, but it's been a pleasure to serve as a global leadership council in the Women in Water Diplomacy Network. And as part of today's event, why we are here, why inclusivity matter. As you can see, we are quite a group of women present here, which we were able to accommodate because of the inclusivity and then the women network. As you can see, for the past many years and for almost continued in global discourse, it's been very low. Dominated by a men-focused event, and we want to change that, and we want to change the status quo, how we can involve underrepresented and then bring all inclusivity in the water diplomacy. This needs support from all of us, an active intervention, an active membership, and activity, just like we're doing here. And why it is very important is even now you can see there are people who are not present. We are not some of the people who are not present are because of different barriers. We need money to reach here. Even in the same continent, you know, the flight cost is very expensive, and coming from abroad outside of Africa is also expensive. So we need to resource, and resources has always been one of the barriers, not only as a woman, but also in this global policy dialogues. We also need time, you know, we need to invest our time to come here. We need to invest our time from our other engagements. We need to invest that. So we need time. That's one of the barriers we are continuously facing in this diplomatic discourse. And then there is some conflict barriers in of the current global platform. You've been hearing, you've been conflicts that are arising, which has limited most people's representation or being present here. At the same time, we have language barriers, just Elizabeth explained now. Thanks to technology and different initiatives, we are having translation, but we have these language barriers, and that's why we don't take representation here. And then internet connectivity. Yeah, we face that for different inclusive water diplomat, for different communities that needs to be present in this kind of discourses are not being represented because of this kind of internet connectivity. And last but not least, the political barriers we keep facing, you know, getting visa, getting approval, things has been one of the limiting factors why we're not having many representatives, and that's what we have been facing. So why a focus on inclusivity, but we also need to focus on women to be engaged in a diplomatic discourse. One of the reasons is that it will definitely have a failure in direct cost in the political decision making, unless we have inclusive water women included in the discourse of transboundary water discourses. Then we will miss critical intervention by women, and this will undermine the progress towards water cooperation and sustainable management. So I invite all of you, and we invite as a network all of you to support the women water experts in all of your day-to-day life activity, in your all institutional expertise. And this is because it has different opportunities. When we support one water expert, the opportunity will be immense. We will get to elevate distinct knowledge, distinct perspective, and distinct experience that a woman faces, and that will be able to be brought in, you know, different day-to-day activity in our work and in our experiences. And also, we will have a very more comprehensive understanding. Our eyes, our knowledge, our vision will be, you know, changed in different perspectives. So that's why we would ask everyone to support women water experts at all levels, which at the end will broaden the set of discourses we've been having in the water diplomacy for the past few years. So targeting support to women is a very easy choice. You know, there is a untapped potential that we should tap it. So just to give you a snapshot, Women in Water Diplomacy Network has, since its inception, that we've been growing, although it started as a small, not say it's a small, but it's initiated at the Nile Basin 2017, but now it has become a very global one. And we were able to include from the Nile Basin a Central Asian and Afghanistan network in 2020. And then since then, we also launched a global strategy, which is a path forward for women, water, and peace and security in 2022 in Stockholm Water Week, which you see the picture. That was the first Women in Water Diplomacy Symposium that we hosted, and this is our second. We were very lucky and fortunate enough to have it, in partner with different international events like this. And now, since 2022, we were able to broaden it, and we were able to include the North American and South Caucasus and South African Women in Water Diplomacy networks in 2023, 2024, and we are now a global network. We are not just a small one. This is the global strategy that we launched in 2022 in Stockholm, but since then, quite a lot of work has been done to do a lot of work, and this year we're going to start a conversation of renewing it and updating it, and implementation is also underway thanks to all our network members, our council members, our supporters, our funders, our support team. We've been doing that. So to give you a little bit of a snapshot of what our strategy focuses is that we have 5 main pillars, where the fifth one is like the support process, because unless we have a support to connect every dot we are talking, we won't be here and we won't be able to achieve. But at the same time, we have one of the first pillar is the gender and youth empowerment in transboundary and water decision making. So in our network, we focus a lot in including the young generation, because they will be the one who's going to take the lead of taking out of this. We have the peer-to-peer learning within basins, within different discourses, within different regions. We get to do peer-to-peer learning, which focuses on capacity building and experience exchange, which also, being here in person is also one of the exchange we will be making. The other one is the research and cooperation, which is supporting network members and institutions in research cooperation. So we will be able to share a different experience, because now we have seen the reach the network have in different basin, in different region, that the research in each basin will be a very input to our strategy. And the fourth pillar is the collective engagement, which is regional and global process. Just like we are here today, we are here for the Symposium of Women in Water Diplomacy, but alongside the UN Water Conference. So during the global process, such like the UN Water Conference, we try to give insight on how inclusive water diplomacy, or including women and other marginalized community, would elevate the process of this water conference or water discourse. So these are the kind of engagement we've been doing, and some of the highlights of the picture that is shown underneath it. And since then, we have a global leadership council that are a group of people from different parts of the networks I mentioned earlier. And here you see most of them, and I think here maybe I can ask the Leadership Council to raise your hand so that the room would know who you are. Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you all for doing the process, for helping everything to come together. And this is a very amazing group of women, as you can see, their personal experience, their professional experience, and their input to the network has been amazing, and we are here to learn from them as well. So as a network, this is how we look like. So we have an official member of data around 250 from global, but more than 1,000 not official members who are a supporter, who are active member, are here. As you can see, like the gold ones are, the maps doesn't see, but anyways, that's the North America and South America, Africa, Europe. I'm sure you can tell, but the gold highlight ones are the one that we have active member and the official members of the network to date. And then the blue ones in the graph that you can see are the supporters, our members who are going to be official coming in soon, because we have certain, well, what do you call it, certain criteria, to transform you to the official member. So, but as you can see how it progressively grows. In 2017, we were just a Nile basin, but by 2025, we have just excelled like gradually. So it's been a pleasure, at least me personally, to see how fast it has grown and how inclusive it has been, and the engagement we have seen since then. So I also want to thank our network members who have been coming to our events, whether it's in person, in online community, in engagement, in our WhatsApp group, for making everything to be an inclusive, interactive, informative, and supportive event, and have been journey. This is just a small snapshot of some of the pictures we have of our member. Maybe you can see yourself here. If not, we will add you more. But thank you so much. Yeah. And finally, I want to thank our supporters from the past, from the day one until today, who has been growing day to day and has been actively engaged in supporting the Women in Water Diplomacy, the Inclusivity Network, the Inclusivity Discourse, and has been giving us opportunities so that we could at least, bring the agenda of what being included mean like. So thank you to all of our supporters. I may not say one-to-one, but thank you very much, and happy to have you all here. Hand it over to you.
Now it's my pleasure to give the floor to Councilman Bogadi, who will share just a brief message with all this morning. Thank you, Bogadi. Bogadi has been a leader of our networks really since 22. So I feel like this microphone's not the best. And leading the charge for us across the continent.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Let me stand on protocol and recognize specifically our Honorable Minister from Senegal, Dr. Sheikh Jiang, Minister of Hydraulics and Sanitation, and recognize our partners from Finland who made it possible for this event to be done today. And most importantly, thank all the partners, cooperating partners who are with us here, the River Basin organizations, leaders, and the communities of water and sanitation globally. I stand here on behalf of the Council and the Global Network of Women in Water Diplomacy as the co-chair. I am Bogadi Mathangwane from the Republic of Botswana. I have the honor as the co-chair to welcome you all to this 2026 Women in Water Diplomacy Symposium. I must on the forefront say that we are gathered here at a critical moment as water is increasingly sitting at the intersection of peace, security, climate resilience, and cooperation across all borders. This symposium, therefore, provides that vital platform for knowledge exchange, honest dialogue, and the identification of shared priorities as we prepare to engage in the upcoming UN 2026 Water Conference, which is to be done in United Arab Emirates in December 2026. And central to our purpose is the strengthening of participation and influence of indigenous leaders and water experts. We want to part knowledge gap that exists between the young and the masters, if you know the masters. African water diplomacy offers deep experience, practical insight that fully inform global decision-making, particularly within the thematic dialogue of water cooperation. As we move towards the high-level preparatory meeting for the 2026 UN Water Conference, I will expect crystal clear that the conversations held here translate into concrete messages, practical, doable actions, coordinated positions, and recommendations that can deeply go to the ground root level. We expect Dakar to contribute voices that are grounded in practice, shaped by inclusion, and focused on cooperation as a pathway to peace and security. Finally, this symposium is not an endpoint. Through our networks, as elaborated by Yodit, we will carry these outcomes forward, ensuring continued engagement, shared accountability, and sustained momentum beyond this room. I encourage all of us to engage openly, listen deeply, and collaborate boldly. Together, let us ensure water diplomacy delivers impact matters most. But not least, I must again thank our partners, specifically Finland, Senegal for hosting us, and all those who supported us to make sure that this event is done. And I thank you all and wish us an inspiring and productive symposium. Welcome.